Alright, what's up everyone? What's up, not again? Finally making a dry stream. Okay, I see it. Yeah. Congrats on the CO. Yes, I saw your deck list. Very nice, very nice. Yes, we are here today for a very special episode. We are still not back into Fight Club round three games or commentary yet, so that won't be any of that today. But do have something a little bit different lined up today, which is today I managed to get an interview with the none other than the winner of last week. It was last week, right? Yes, last week's um, February Sunset AMT winner with Dragons1rule. Dragons, how the hell are you? Okay, you know what? I just realized you were still muted for like the first 3 seconds, so you could just repeat your greeting again. Ah,
Hello. I'm doing good.
yeah, okay, excellent. Okay, as you can see, I'm
All
really good
right.
at this audio thing.
Yeah.
Spent the
No,
last
no,
like
don't worry. I've got a very professional setup myself, just sitting here on the beach. Like, yeah.
at the beach now. Okay,
Yeah.
beach interview, excellent, always the best. Uh,
Good show.
right. So yeah, I mean, I'm not bad, not bad. It's been a, I want to say, pretty productive week. I mean, but yourself, you know, not half bad. You won some foil San City grids. Use them while you can.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, definitely. I'll have to grab a deck for those.
Yeah. I mean, I think let's just get back to you. I mean, how long? I mean, I don't really know you that well. How long have you been playing that runner?
I so I first got into it through a friend, like pre-COVID,
Pre-COVID,
by about
okay.
a year. And then but it was just me and like two other friends that played it, and I thought we were the only people that played it. Um, and then I only really started getting into it properly last year.
Last year, as in
Yeah,
2023.
uh, yeah, 2023. Yeah, I believe so. 2023. Yeah.
And so you played mostly on JNet or in person?
Mostly on JNet, but I also still pretty regularly go to the little Melbourne meetups we have. Because we have a pretty good group that meets up once a week, so I try to go to those. But yeah,
Okay,
mostly
that's
online.
okay. That's great. Uh, so I mean, talk to me a little bit more about Melbourne because I've heard like bits and pieces here and there from people like Crawl,
Hmm.
like Alex, who all I believe live like in Melbourne or around it. How's that?
Yeah.
How's that like?
Yeah, I mean it's great. Like we have a really good group. We all got together and did a big road trip up for the Sydney national tournament.
That was
Um, which
yeah
was really fun.
nationals.
Yeah,
Two nationals last year, right?
yeah. And it's just yeah, it's a really great tournament. They're all very great people, and I really enjoy playing the game. It's like I feel like I play the game a lot more because we have such a good community for it down here in Melbourne.
Right. And I mean, would you say like how much would you say like the Melbourne meta is representative of like the Australian meta as a whole? I know there's like a little bit of a rivalry or something between like Melbourne and Sydney. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, to be totally honest, I mostly just stay within the Melbourne group. Like there is an Australia-wide server, but I don't interact with it too much. So the only real times I've spoken to people from outside of Melbourne were like at the nationals. Um, so yeah,
Okay.
I could imagine that there is a rivalry though, because in Australia, just in general, there's a big like Melbourne Sydney thing.
Okay. So it's not a Netrunner thing. It's just a
Well,
meat space thing.
yeah.
Okay.
It's
And
kind of both, I
so
imagine. But yeah. Anyway,
how big did you say the Melbourne meta was? Like 20
Melbourne.
30
Yeah,
ish.
yeah. I think like 20 people. We have. because there's a lot of people who are a bit newer to the game, but there's also loads of people who've been there since like way before I even knew this game existed. So yeah, I think around 20 people.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. I mean,
Yeah.
from what you're saying, that means that there's a pretty good mix of like experience levels, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so uh, I suppose the natural lead up to the next question is like what kind of formats does like Melbourne usually play, and what kind of formats do you usually play, and what led you to like participating in the Sunset AMT?
Yeah, well, I pretty much exclusively play standard. I will occasionally play startup just so I get an excuse to be able to play keeling. Um,
Okay,
but
yeah, that kind of guy,
yeah,
huh?
yeah. Look. I just like killing. You know, it's not toxic in outside of ag, right? It's fine.
Okay, I
Um,
interesting,
but
interesting. Okay, yeah. Very good taste is not again. I can see I'm in the minority here, so I'll just take that. I'll take that
look,
sentence
look.
in the
I don't know
spirit that
if
was intended.
I don't know if all my Netrunner takes are particularly good, but you know, it's
Right.
fine.
Okay. So, uh,
But yeah.
yeah. So what led you to like decide to like play Sunset? I mean, when the format was announced. I mean, there's no killing in that format either,
Sunset,
right?
um, yeah, well, it's like, I didn't really play that much Sunset. I had played a couple of games, but it released at a particular time where I was just a bit busy, so I've been playing a lot less Netrunner than normal. Um, but in the Sunset AMT, I, I entered because I wanted to get the shiny cards, and
Yeah.
then
I mean
we got
that's
here,
very
so
very
yeah.
reasonable. Yeah, you did get those shiny cards, right?
Yeah.
And
um,
yeah, I mean now, I mean you say you play mostly standard, and now that I mean now you have this like Sunset AMT under your belt. Do
hmm,
you? I mean I mean definitely it's nice to be getting like actual price support for AMTs, but I don't personally expect it to be like an ongoing thing as I feel like this is I mean my personal take is this is like a bit just more like compensation for the Sunset AMT not having a CBI of a CBI invite attached to it, right? And,
yeah.
and I mean, does that kind of like motivate you to go and play more events? So you know you can say you didn't win a you didn't or you won an AMT, but
Yeah,
which wasn't worth a CBI invite, but you got a CBI invite anywhere from somewhere else. Like I mean, there's two more AMTs
yeah,
coming in March, right?
yeah. It does seem like I should go see if maybe I can get a CBI invite as well. Who knows?
Yeah. And
Oh
correct
yeah.
me if I'm wrong. Has this been your best tournament placing so far?
Oh yeah. By far, I've never really like come first in a tournament
Sure,
for
sure. I
Netrunner
mean, any
before.
any
So
other
yeah.
any other top cuts of note? I mean, you mentioned you went to nationals last year.
No, I didn't top cut at nationals. I did quite poorly on the runner side at nationals.
Okay.
I think like before I found mulch, my like my runner win rate was not very good. But I've just been playing so much mulch recently, and yeah,
Okay. Yeah. I mean, already means that 2024. I mean, better prospects for you at least thus far, than in 2023, and of course, we will see where this momentum takes us, I suppose, especially with
yeah,
what look
hopefully,
yeah, especially with like what looks like to be a like increasing number of online events going into this year, like increasing to like 2 AMTs per month is already an encouraging sign, I would say.
mm. Yeah. I'll definitely be trying to join as many online events as I can. So yeah,
Yeah.
should be
Okay.
cool.
And I suppose just a couple more questions, and I think this one might be most important one so far. What is your
Hmm.
beverage of choice? And do I do entreat you think carefully before you answer.
My beverage of choice.
Mm-hmm.
It yeah. It really depends on circumstance. Like when I'm playing Netrunner,
Oh, sure. Let's say, for example, when you're playing that man. I say
yeah,
as
I just
I
drink
take a
water when I'm
gigantic
playing
swig.
Netrunner.
Okay, excellent, excellent. Correct
yeah,
answer.
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
as in, that would have.
Occasionally, I will drink like energy drink or something if the tournament isn't
Oh,
till like 3 in the morning.
trading
But
on dangerous
mostly
territory
water.
there, friend. Dangerous territory.
Mostly water. Mostly water. Mostly
Okay,
water.
excellent, excellent. Very good, very good. Okay, so then I guess talking. Let's talk about like the tournament itself. How was that for you? It was four
Mm.
rounds of double sided,
Yes. Yeah. 4 rounds.
and
Um.
how were the games overall for you? You played Mulch and Grudge. That's correct.
Yeah. I played Mulch and Grudge. It was just like get rid of the cards that are banned in Sunset.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it went well. I think the Grudge did really well. Um. And I thought I'd play against more people on Grudge as well, so I was kind of worried about the mulch side of things, but it went okay. So yeah.
Hmm. I mean, I think notably people did point out that these are like, specifically two archetypes that didn't really lose that many cards in the transition between
Mm.
Standard and Sunset. So I assume that played a big part for you in your deck selection.
Yeah, that's why I picked them because I was like, well, like mulch is a deck that I've been playing pretty much since it got posted on Netrunner DB all the time. So I was like, well, the only thing mulch loses is Paladin, so I just took them out, and it's pretty much the same thing. And
Okay.
then Grudge is pretty similar. Like I really enjoy playing Grudge. So when I saw that the only card it loses is Drudge Work, I was like, oh, it should be fine.
All
Um,
right.
so
Yeah.
yeah.
Fair enough. But you didn't, but you didn't actually get in that much actual Sunset practice, is my understanding. You just played your standard decks
No,
and
I
took
hadn't
out. Yeah.
played much explicit Sunset. Just yeah, I've been playing a lot of the standard versions of these decks, so I just played it the same way.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair enough.
Hmm.
All right. Do you want to get into some of the games now?
Yeah. Okay. Sure. So how does this work?
Okay. So I see you've already sent me these things. So let me uh, copy the link in, and we can get it on. Get rid of this. And there we go. Oh, why am I being asked to log in? Excuse me, Jane it. Okay, there we go. Excellent. All right. Now, so can you? Okay, so I think the best thing for me to do, at least what I've been doing with like these replay reviews, is to I'm gonna share my screen. So let me just do that.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that works for me.
All right. So you can see the game, and zoom in a little bit because restoring humanity doesn't make remotes. All right. So this is
Yep.
which game were you mentioning this was your match against?
Oh, this is
Uh,
yeah, a wild turd talk. Is that how it's pronounced?
yes, Walter Top.
This is in the Swiss, the fourth round.
Round forces. I believe we caught the back end of your round against Walter Top.
Yeah,
Uh,
you caught my when I was on Grudge
right. Okay. Yeah. So I mean,
because
I
we
mean
went
for
to
the
time.
Yes, yeah. So yeah, for those of you who weren't aware, I was actually on the commentary team for the Sunset AMT as well, and then yeah, so we got to see the back end of like the second half of this set between the Wild Turtok and Dragons, where of course the Wild Turtok won the second game on time when time was called, but we didn't get to see this first half, which we'll be seeing now, actually. So yeah,
Yeah.
so the matchup is Restoring Humanity versus Mulch. Restoring Humanity, of course, another deck that doesn't lose that many cards. In the move to Sunset, it loses Rashida, but every deck loses Rashida, right? Uh,
Yeah. Yeah. It seems like pretty much just the stuff you've seen.
yeah, and how, as in
Yeah.
just before going into the game itself, how do you judge the matchup? At least, I mean, whether is it from the Sunset or from the standard point of view, how do you feel the matchup is for you against like Punitive RH?
Well, it's kind of interesting, right? Because mulch has like infinite Kiri, so you can hit the punitives quite well. If you can hit the punitives, it can be quite like good for you, right?
Mhm.
Especially because with steel skins in hand, you force them to need 3.
Yeah.
Um, so then like just trash 1
Yeah,
and
so yeah, the basic
it kind
combo
of does work.
generally isn't good enough. They need like some
Yeah.
extended combo. You need like a double bacterial or a bacterial Fuji, or as you say, a
Mm.
triple punitive.
Yeah, it's interesting though because I believe in this game I never end up getting to trash the punitive.
Okay.
But yeah, it was still interesting.
Okay, so we'll see how it goes.
Um, yeah.
Okay, so okay, Turtok keeps this hand with back pro and snare. And you take a mulligan here, so okay, so yeah, this is a pretty easy mulligan, right? No real sustained econ. You're not loose, so the imp isn't representing econ for you. And the Lego is
Mm,
nice, but not sufficient by itself.
yeah.
Yeah, so you mulligan into this botchless Lego price knob and strike fund, which you're quite
Yeah.
happy with, even though there's no imp.
Yeah, I definitely feel like I'm a lot happier with this because I think botulus and money is really what you want at the start.
Mm,
I feel like.
yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. So Turtok goes eyes. Ooh, it's pretty loud. Samsung. Alright. So install crack. Alright. So here we go. We have an ice. We have ice crack. So Saisentan is represented. Vampire Nasa is represented. So probably you're not that interested in running HQ. I don't think.
Yeah, no, I think it's not really worth trying to go on HQ at this
Yeah.
point, right?
Yeah. So just you definitely run at least one time to get an item. But first we first get price, which is very fair.
Hmm.
Moshing Revolver Conduit. Ooh, okay. I mean
Yeah, I
I'm
remember it was a
yeah,
really like interesting choice because you can just conduit right now and try and steal the agendas before they're quite ready with punitive counter-strike.
hmm,
But obviously it's like a huge gamble that they're even on the top. Because I have 3 clicks left, right? That they're even on the top
yeah.
3 cards. And obviously, like you want revolver against Jinteki with all the
Yeah,
sentries. So
Jitaki in general, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
what's the
yeah,
concept?
yeah,
And you do end up going for the conduit. Damn, okay.
yeah. Because yeah, I wanted to end the game quickly because it was getting late, so I was like,
Okay,
I'll just
yeah,
take
fair,
it.
fair enough, fair enough. Okay, so I mean, now that we have this conduit down, definitely it's you just start slamming. So access,
Yeah,
access,
take a look.
access. All right. And I suppose that, I
Yeah.
mean the fact that it's a price instead of a conduit install is like makes it better, right? So you're ending your turn on 5 credits after the flip instead of like 3.
Yeah, because I don't have to spend all my money getting the conduit down, which is
Hmm.
nice. But I do end up really feeling the lack of revolver later on.
Okay. We'll see how it goes. So the draw is Anansi. So you've seen this already. And now Turtok is
Mm.
obviously thinking, I mean, definitely you have to ice, R&D here. If not, you might just, you probably just randomly lose. So there goes Anansi.
Definitely.
It's
Yeah.
just credit. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
And like,
uh,
you may as well just put down a Nazi because you saw me trash my revolver, so I can't really threaten that anymore.
I've just
At least not immediately.
yeah, for sure. Like you would have to have a simul chip in hand, and if you have a simul chip, then you are forfeiting your conduit, right? So which kind of defeats the purpose of the
Yeah.
whole thing.
Yeah. Definitely.
Okay, so Turtok, just putting the Nazi down, ending turn. So you draw a Audrey, all right. So I assume, like, definitely. I mean, you've seen this Anansi, and of course, there's no way you're able to challenge this. So, this turn is probably just more of a setup turn.
Yeah, because like I have Largo and that kind of stuff, so you can just get ready.
Yeah. So yeah, this for Meta is a really good draw here, right?
Yeah, definitely. Because it like just to enable the simul chip and get the revolver back.
Yep. All right. So Turtok still okay. Sees a hedge fund. It's the second card that you've seen of Conduit. So click one is Artini. So R&D is now completely fresh. Hedge and Ice Server 1. Okay. So still not attempting to push anything through archives as of yet. I suppose this means it's like a pretty easy flip back on turn 3 for you.
Yeah.
But you
Yeah,
roll,
that's
of
the other
course.
thing with RH is that like with the agendas in archives, you don't get free flips as much.
Yeah, so I think anytime like archives is empty or open with no face downs, you're like fairly happy to run for a flip because it doesn't happen very often.
Definitely.
Right. So draw, steel skin and wheels. Wheels I don't believe is a card in the standard version, is it? If I remember correctly.
Yeah, this is the polycule mulch.
Is
Which
that
I
the
believe
CPI
added
version?
Yeah, I believe so, with the added Augustina and the short gambles.
Okay. From that version, you just remove the paladins and put in what did you put in?
I didn't even put in anything because it's already oversized.
Oh
So
right,
I just take out the
that's true.
paladins.
That's true.
Yeah, it's like a 51 card deck or something. So I just took out paladin and yeah, and obviously replaced cleaver with Corota.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That's quite straightforward.
Yeah.
But okay. So draw, and just face checking HQ. Okay. Pretty bold.
Because I figure
check.
I have a lot of cards in hand, and like, there's nothing I'm really super afraid of happening. Like, worst is Anansi, and then you've lost a lot of money.
Yeah, that's fair. But okay, Totok will obviously resist this Isentan. Thinking about card type. I guess. I mean, despite the events of the game, I shouldn't say despite. I mean, I think it's just very natural to choose event here, I suppose. Oh, but hardware is the pick. Okay.
Yeah, but hardware was interesting. I've seen a lot of people pick program for mulch, which I think is also interesting. But yeah.
I mean, the standard deck, I believe, runs somewhere between 14 to 16 programs. I think 15 is the number I've seen the most. Uh, so program is fine. Event is of course the natural pick. But as in we can see here that there's like one of each of everything except for program, which is two. So most of the time this connects at least once. So fires. So steel skin hits. Which you draw. What do you draw? So you draw the clock, a clock and a raindrops, and then you
and
the
then it gets
botchless.
instantly discarded.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So not too bad in terms of like the actual damage, and we get an excess here, a teeny, nothing very special. Last click draw, and flip back. So Turtok, go draw, stall, and you flip a strike fund, being the tournament winner gameplay, as I like to say. What is the draw actually? It's a new remote. Okay. So you draw the Basal, which is pretty nice if you find some way to reduce strength. Resin Spin and Hansi Review is a very nice draw for Turtok here, I suppose. There we go. Hansi Atini, okay, still keeping the bacterial. Discarding another card, or discarding the bacterial anyway, sure. That's fine. And back up to 14 crits. So you draw. So what do you draw? You draw. Damn it. Okay, so you draw another fermenter off of this, off of Hoshiko, and then you proceed to moshing. So you mosh wheels, clot, and fermenter. I suppose wheels and clot are like fairly straightforward discards. There's that kind of really do anything. The only tricky card is really the last one, which is either the third card is either fermenter, not Audrey, Buzzsaw. Yeah, these are your four options. And I suppose, do you as in like what's your evaluation on like how much money do you need in a game against RH?
Against RH, it feels like because I don't really like using Audrey, right? Because there's a lot of really big sentries that are just trying to shoot you. And obviously the remote could be a snare at the end. So it feels quite dangerous to be discarding the cards from my hand. So I feel like I often will try and just do it the like normal way with, Kuroda, Buzzsaw, Revolver.
Okay.
So I do kind of like to have money here, just because they will build up a big remote, also I can run R&D a lot.
Okay. And because you already suspect it's still an Anansi R&D, right? Just from your accesses the previous time.
Yeah. Because I saw the Anansi in R&D, so it makes sense that it's that.
Okay. So you find the first Simon chip off of this moshing. Obviously install, crack this fermenter, and last click conduit. So of course you have this revolver down, which makes it pretty safe to be running into this suspected Anansi, and of course anything else you have botchless.
Yeah.
So here you go, Anansi. Revolver comes out as expected. And here we go.
And because since we're not at threat, I can pay my way through a teeny as well.
Oh, okay,
so
yes. Good point.
Other than Vampire and Asa, I don't think I can get net damaged.
Yes, yeah. So very fair.
Yeah.
And if it's let's say Tatu Bola on R&D, you will probably. I mean, you have the option to chip a botulus, but I mean, there's the option to just bounce off no harm done anyway.
Yeah, I think if it was Tatubola, I'd just bounce because I don't really want to just lose a botulus for one run. I don't know. It's definitely a bit more interesting whether you do it or not. But I think I would just bounce and then see if I can draw up my my Crota.
Okay. So this run will be seeing 4 cards. Still a Regenesis, which is very nice. Probably the most important agenda to steal the deck.
Yeah.
And Trash and Enigmatic Void. Okay, so all in all, quite productive. Okay, so the draw is punitive content, so you do know that this is in hand now. And Turtle goes Mindscaping, draw 2, seeing a second punitive, alright. And looks like the next card down was a Bacteria. That could have been very spooky if it's stolen that out, honestly.
Yeah, especially with the double punitives, yeah.
Yeah, and there is a case actually, now that I think about it, not to go too hard on the conduit, because I'm not sure if you're aware of this, of like the ruling, or how like the cards interact, because like any effect, any cop effect that changes the order of R&D mid access will force you to restart. Will force you to restart accessing from the top again.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yes. So what this means is, if let's say you are accessing 4 cards with conduit, and the second card is a bacterial programming, they can the cop can actually rearrange and force you to access again from the top. So and they can stack another agenda, for example. That makes it very spooky, like to get like too big a multi-access against bacterial programming. Although of course you have this Regenesis already, so they can't. It's literally impossible for them to feed you 6 points and not lose a game instantly. So that's a very big upside.
But with triple punitives, it is still worrying to hit one agenda.
Yes.
Because I can just get shot. But I figured with Conduit, I can hopefully go for 2 at once. Like steal it off the Conduit run and then snipe from R&D. Not R&D, sorry, Archives.
Archives, yeah. That's fair enough. Okay, so Turtok choosing what to put back with this Mindscaping. Looks like it will be the... what was it? Oh, it's a snare, okay. And click to YDL. And click to credit. So back up to 13 credits. So click on draw. So Hoshiko draws Cookbook, which is very nice, and then you click on draw Imp, which is like, as some would say, goated, the goated combination. Also with this Nopkari in hand as well.
Yeah, I'm in a pretty good position to try and get rid of the punitives here with the Imp and the Nopkari.
Because you do know two punitives are in HU from your R&D access. Is that correct?
Yeah, I know. I definitely saw one. I do believe I had seen the second.
Yes. Yeah. So 2 cards. So the Turtok mandatory drew 1, and then Mindscaping drew the second. So yes, you do know 2 punitives are in hand. And you know that there is an Artini somewhere, but you don't know if it's been discarded, and in fact it has been discarded. Okay, Cookbook. I mean, this is probably a flip back turn anyway. So install Cookbook, strike fund, and credit. So just credit back up. Making sure you're not going to just fall over to random punitives, and Turtok actually has to work for the credits.
Yeah. Especially because, like at this point, I'm assuming the only way I'll really die is the triple. So if I can have a lot of money, that makes it very hard to pull off.
Yeah, because of course, if you think about it, it's kind of like your credits are worth like 3 times of the corp credits if you are needing to if you need to get triple punitive to lose the game. So just Just staying at like this maybe 12 to 15 mark, making sure that they have to stay at like 30, 35 to 40 in order to have a chance at killing you is, I think, quite a reasonable strategy. But okay, so Turtok
Yeah, it also
going for an
makes it
install
really hard
play.
for them to res big ice
Yes,
because
that's for sure.
now that's like, yeah, you just need so much more money.
Okay, so install server 1. So you draw, so you pitch Augustina and draw labor rights. So the Augustina is kind of sort of tech for the RH matchup, but I think in practice it's like so-so. Like, did you find yourself using this card at all on the day itself, the Augustina?
Yeah, I just felt like in this game, because the two punitives are already in HQ, it's not gonna do much for me. It could technically snipe an agenda, like multiple agendas into archives, but with Spin Doctor still on the table, it's not super relevant for me, like getting extra agendas into archives, I think. At least right now.
Okay.
I do. I felt like it is helpful in a lot of my games. Is if you can get it really early. I do like being able to get sometimes like, 5, maybe 10 sabotages, depending on how early on it is, just from like installing Fermenter and then next turn cracking Fermenter to get a botulus. I find it quite nice, but not super essential.
Okay. But the doctor's going install crack, playing it nice and cool. And your start of turn. Alright, and you are going for it. Okay. So click 1, install Botulus from hand, and click 2 is run Vampy. So with this cookbook, you are like insulated from like most nasty things. Between Revolver and Botulus, you probably don't care about anything that badly. Like this is like exactly this Vampironasa is the worst rest for you, and even then it's not so bad. So you break.
Yeah, I think even Vampire is not a big of a deal because I just let the money subs fire and we're kind of okay.
Okay, so you're breaking the damage subs, the damage and draw subs. So gain 2, lose 2. And accessing this snare, which honestly happens so often against Restoring Humanity. Like this deck is I would say like one of the best decks in the game at installing snares and getting away with it. Just because runners feel so pressured to run the remote instead of like running archives.
Yeah, because obviously I don't want to steal the 3-point agenda, right? Because then I just die. So it's like the main way I win this game is if I can steal enough Regenesis that you can't score anymore. So I feel like I have to run, even though it could be a snare. I just run anyway, and then if it's a snare, we're a bit sad, but that's fine.
Yeah. Right, snare trash. Clear attack. Don't like to die to mindscaping. And lastly, draw. Okay, so Turtok, what is the play here? It's a good question. I wonder if there's ever a line to install advance the bacteria. I don't know. Would you run back? Would you run back a Vampy with a 1 counter bot if he goes install advance?
Honestly, I think I would. I just let the draw cards fire, I think.
Yeah, so you break the net.
Oh,
you break net and let draw fire?
well, actually no. Because
you do know
in this position, because I don't have Steel Skin. So I can't do it.
Yeah.
If you draw 2 cards first, I think. And then if you see Steel Skin, you should be good, because I have enough money that you can't triple punitive me right now, I believe.
Sure. Yep.
So, I think if I can draw, if you draw 2 and then it is a Steel Skin, then you run the Bacterial Remote, I think.
So, because it's a you would have to end your turn on at least 4 cards, which is not a big deal, right? You would start the turn on 7 credits and 4 cards from, of course, the Hoshiko trigger, and you would lose, or you wouldn't lose 2 cards, but you lose 2 credits. So you'd be at 5 credits after the vamp subs fire and you steal this bacterial. Okay, yeah, I guess I can see it. But no, so setup goes draw instead. And ice the spin, okay, interesting. Instead of icing archives. And taking, sorry, no, it's draw, hedge, and ice the spin. And gaining, of course, the restoring humanity credit. Oh, that was not very close. I see. Okay, this makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah, I remember seeing it and being very surprised at the ice spin doctor, but I was like, oh, I guess it makes sense because you don't want me to contest the archives, but yeah. Then he just says, oh, that was a mistake, and it's like, oh, yeah.
Okay. So you survived the snare turn. So next step is probably trying to find. You did draw another simultaneous, which is an excellent draw. I suppose you're trying to fix your breaker issues right now because like this revolver was like worth only 1 more run. You could, for example, make another conduit run here, but that might be slightly aggressive considering you do know the punitives are in hand and the credit situation is slightly delicate.
Yeah, it's definitely needing to look for the other breakers now.
So you click 3 draw, it's a pinhole threading, okay. That's useful against Amniotic Void, but you've already trashed one of those. But yeah, so the call is run HQ, and that's like extremely probably the correct central to run considering you know where the punitives are. So Sasadan on program, makes perfect sense against mulch. There goes the 3 more revolver shots. And access is mindscaping. I think you just trash this regardless because you have so many encounters. There we go. So down to only 2 credits. This is probably the weakest relative position that you've been in all game, I would say. In terms of like what the cop can get away with, I think.
Sorry, did you ask me a question? I didn't quite hear what you said.
Oh no, so I was just saying, like ending a turn on 2 credits and 3 cards, and with revolver being on only the gun itself and no more bullets in the chamber. It's like the weakest relative position that you've been in all game, in terms of being able to let the cop get away with stuff.
Yeah, the revolver with no bullets is a bit sad, but I think you can, I just simultape it back, so it's not too bad, but it really does start burning through simultaps.
For sure. Okay, so Vampy on R&D. So it's just draw Vampy and take a credit. Okay, still not pushing this bacterial. I think Turtok is probably just waiting for the second Regenesis. I wonder if there's ever a consideration for you to contest the Spin Doctor. Did you think about it?
Yeah, I'm thinking about it because I want to have the possibility to be able to threaten sniping an agenda from archives, but I think I don't do it yet because I think I want to get a conduit run first, then threaten spin, and then conduit again, I think.
Okay.
And then obviously, if he wants to, he can just spin before the first conduit happens, and then the basic thing that I want to happen still occurs, where Spin Doctor is gone now, and you have to gamble on whether like you leave it in archives and potentially lose the game on me stealing from R&D or not.
Okay, okay. So you go here. I mean, you draw a prize, which is pretty nice. But this time you probably just want to flip back. There are no like good remotes. There are no good servers to run. So we go credit, price, hit the DJ. That's very good. Like there's no choice here, right? It's always Steve. Yeah, there we go. And credit again. And back. Regolith. So Regolith is probably like a really decent draw for Turtok here. You just go install and click. So you draw a steel pitch a cookbook, draw a steel skin. So this is the second or third steel skin? The second steel skin. So that's pretty important to find against any punitive lines.
Yeah, definitely. I think this is the only position where I'm actually happy to draw the steel skin instead of trashing the steel skin off
Yeah.
of Largo.
Yeah, for sure. But okay, Turtok starting to pull ahead in terms of the credit total. So you draw simul chip, alright. Install simul chip. This is the third chip already, yes. And you just bring back a fermenter, okay. And do you use it? Oh, no, okay. So simul chip. Oh, okay, so pitching the revolver for fermenter. Credit. Alright, fair enough. So Turtok draws Saisan-tan. Now I guess at this point, if I am the runner, sorry, if I'm the cop, you could consider purging here. Like it's like decent value on the imp, decent value on the conduit. The botchless is getting a little bit spooky.
Absolutely, and especially without the nub period, right? If you purge my imp, I can't get that back yet.
Yes, correct. And I believe
yeah,
one knock period has
and
been discarded already. Yeah, so there's only one left in the stack,
yeah,
or somewhere at least.
and since I haven't put it down yet, it's unlikely that it's in my hand. So there's a big potential that I just have to sit and draw it.
Sure. I suppose it's like worth asking, like at this point in the deck, if I mean, as you say, you do need Nockery in order to like assemble like the full rig and continue playing the game. At what point do you stop activating the Lego? Is there a point, or do you just just hit it whenever and screw the odds?
I mean, it's interesting because it's like, well, I want to say that I don't stop it because I think I just like being able to be fast, and letting the corp just sit back and make money is gonna lose me to like the traces and stuff. But also, it's then I can just get forced if I have no more cards, then I can just get forced to access the food and lose the games. Yeah, it's
That's
definitely
true.
interesting.
Yeah.
But I do find with matches like these, I don't really like stopping Largo. I'm not sure if I do eventually, but I feel like being able to labor rights for like effectively for free is a little bit better than the threat of Fuji.
Sure.
Because I just have to leave like a couple of cards in my hand and I'll be fine. So I can just labor rights for I can just labor rights for strike funds before I start going on my runs.
Yeah. Okay. I suppose the conversation would be a little bit different if the second labor rights was also in the bin, right? Or you haven't found the second labor rights yet. Like if you have two labor rights in the bin already, then you probably have to be a lot more cautious.
Definitely. But also, this version is on 3 labor rights, so I think I do end up with 2 labor rights in the bin.
Okay. Yeah. So you can afford to push the pedal a bit harder.
Yeah. And it's one of the things that I do like about the bigger mulch is being able to have that third labor rights and just being able to grab some more things.
Okay, fair enough. So Turtok, still playing it slow. Double Saisantan HQ now, just taking more credits off of Regolith. Up to 23 credits. You of course have a fermenter ticking, but that only goes so far. So it's credit, so it's draw and price. Hitting gamble, not fermenter. This is a very easy knob install. And just more credits. Still like extremely unsafe to run. Still very unsafe to run archives, I think.
Yeah.
So because
Even with the steel skin, it's like you could just draw the third punitive and then it's over.
yeah, and even if it's even against the third punitive, or even if he doesn't have the third punitive, if let's say the bacteria sees another Regenesis, he can feed you a Regenesis, and that's like a 4-point punitive times 2, and I think 8 damage is enough regardless of the number of steel skins.
Yeah, well, he can't put the Fuji in archives because then I just
correct. So you can't you
Unless I
can't put
misunderstood what you're saying.
no, you can't put the Fuji in archives, but you can put a second Regenesis in archives for a 4-point punitive.
Oh, right. Yes. Yes. Go.
So Turtok draws a Fuji, alright. So Regolith emptied up to 26 credits and just extremely chill with the credit. Still just waiting for a
Yeah.
Regenesis. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, you might as well, right? Like,
Yeah,
I'm not particularly threatening the remote because it's. Sorry, I can't quite read it through screen. Is it a Nancy or a T on the Atomos on the remote?
It's a Nancy.
A Nancy? Yeah. Like, I have to fetch Revolver and I can get through, but it's still quite annoying. And I feel like in this game, as RH, you want to just burn through all my revolvers as fast as you can.
Yeah.
So even forcing me to run that remote is good. Even if I do steal the Regenesis, there's potential to just install double advanced Fuji, and now I can't really contest that.
Yeah. Okay. So so you go click one, draw. The fermenter is still ticking up to 4 now. I suppose you can get it up to 5 by running archives, but that's extremely dangerous. And of course the spin, I guess the downside of discarding this Fuji on the Turtok side is that now he has to shuffle back a spin. Sorry, he has to spin back the Fuji. Whereas before he could just let the spin sit and let you steal a bacterial, but now he has to use a spin. But that's not so bad because he has another spin in hand at least.
Although one thing I was thinking about a lot during this game is if instead of moving bacterial in archives, you leave Fuji there for the 2 damage, just to give yourself an easier time counter striking me later on.
Sure. Yeah. I think that definitely makes sense if there's already a credit differential like we see here. Like bacteria is of course like really good if you need to create the credit differential with the YDL. But if if you're already like 26 credits ahead, then you could just leave the Fuji as you were saying.
Yeah, because that's the thing. You don't need more money anymore. You just need an opportunity to kill me. And I think because Fuji just makes it a bit nicer being able to kill with only 2 punitives instead of 3.
Sure. Okay, so you go draw is drawing Botulus and Raindrops. Finally popping this fermenter. I suppose you will chip it back or not. We'll see. Oh, we could last click Raindrops, and we are raindropping HQ. All right, let's go. So that probably means this chip is reserved for the revolver. There we go. Second Sizen time comes down. I wonder if it's an event or program call this time. I feel like getting to the end of the deck, it might be better to call event just to try and snipe labor rights. but it seems quite irrelevant because all these subs will be broken anyway, most likely. Oh, but we go hardware again. Turtok is trying to hit the second knob curry, right? Oh no, not the second knob curry. What are we trying to hit? Yeah, buffer drive. That's it.
Yeah, I was surprised. I believe he changes. Like he.
Oh, change the program.
asks
Okay.
Which, yeah,
Okay.
change the program. Yeah. Because, yeah, picking hardware I think was. There's not many targets anymore.
Yeah, it's only buffer drive, which I'm not sure if you even run in this version.
No, I don't run in this version.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. Second Saisentan, we'll probably call. Okay. That doesn't matter. Again, it doesn't matter because there's no way you let this fire. And here we go. So you get a fermenter back, which is quite nice. And we'll see what access. Oh, okay, bacterial. Now this gets a little bit spooky. Oh no, it's not actually spooky because you just imp it. LOL. False alarm, everyone. Just imp the agendas. It's perfectly fine.
Yeah, because I didn't want to. I think I get shot by the bacterials and die, right? So I don't want to.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it's not guaranteed, but there is like a you have like a 40% chance to survive. If like the first bacterium misses, so if the first punitive misses steel skin, you just die straight up. So yes, no sense taking that risk. And Turtok just draws another bacterial. All right. Install, flipping raindrops, and drawing Lego. Not particularly relevant here. And I suppose you've drawn everything you need to draw already. And now you're just trying to push through the end of your deck to find so you can labor it safely. And double advance. All right. Like Turtok decides now is the time to go for it.
Yeah, so it's interesting. I think I do end up missing it, but it gets very messy. Yeah, because I see the second steel skin here, which is really need that.
But that's not the problem. There's not enough cards in the deck anymore for you to draw.
I realized. I think at the time I just went, oh, I have 2 steel skins and it's fine. But yeah, the stack being at 1 is very scary.
Yeah. I mean, you definitely still can run this. Okay, you draw first. Install Audrey.
Yeah.
And go time. It is go time. Anansi on deck. You can break this with revolver and 1 Audrey counter. Let's see. So so this is pretty expensive in terms of like just resources expended, but this is the end of your deck anyway, so it's not a big deal. And of course, Botulus fully breaks. And Bacteria. Now, I suppose you definitely imp this again, right?
Yeah, I think at this point I realized that I can't steal it, and I just imp it. Yeah,
because you have no cards left in the stack.
But it's interesting because now I'm like all 3 bacterials are in archives, right?
So you've seen 2 bacterials and like another 2 face downs, of which you can assume one of them is another 5/3. So 3 5/3s in at least 3 5/3s in archives, which means that there's like 2 5/3s left between HQ, R&D, and of course you don't know the 4th one. So actually, Central's density is extremely low at this point.
Yeah, but it's interesting because it means the spin doctor, only 1 spin doctor on the table now. Like it doesn't save you anymore. You need, like he has the second one here, but yeah.
I think
it makes it more valuable to contest.
The funny thing is, if you had run on click 3 instead of click 4, and then last click run archives, there's no way for Turtok to stop you from winning, which is quite funny.
Yeah. But
of course, there's no way for either player to know that.
Like we reasonably assume that first bacterial is in there.
Yes.
So that like there's 2 bacterials, is what I'm assuming. But yeah.
Okay. So Turtok, drawing Tattoo Bowler, and Sublim, and install Spin, and not using label, of course, icing it again. Alright. So I guess the question is, do you run the archives here? Like
Do I,
what
do
would
I
be your
run
call here?
archives here?
Yeah. What would be your call here?
The problem with running archives is I think because I only know that there are 3 bacterials in archives. So I assume that what's going to happen is I run archives, 2 of them get spun out, and I steal 1 bacterial. Which is interesting. There's an argument. I think what could be nice, but I don't quite have the money for it, is if I could run conduit run on R&D first. Oh no, yeah, you'd have to run archives first and then conduit second. But
Yeah.
I am hoping to try and run archives and then to spin the agendas back in and then run conduits because I see half the deck, right?
Yeah, a hell of a lot of cards. So many
Yeah.
cards.
I will see a lot, and knowing that there's 2 punitives in hand with a 3-card hand, we can assume that pretty much all the agendas are going to be in R&D and archives, right?
Yes.
So yeah, that's looking to be the strategy.
Yeah. So labor rights for chip. So 3 chips. So you don't need to get labor rights, the 3rd labor rights until your second one.
Yeah.
For your first one, I should say. So you just go chip.
And I was thinking worst case scenario, just DJ them back in.
For sure.
Yeah, and you lose 1 use of labor rights that way, but it should be fine. It's a lot of labor rights.
So just credits. So were you scared of the regenesis here in server 1 in this particular turn?
I considered that it's probably going to be a regenesis, but I think even if it is, I can't contest it. I don't think.
Right.
I don't have the symbol chips. Yeah, like I can't break the Nazi easily, right? I drew. Yeah, I'm just not easily able to contest it. So I figured if it is a regenesis, let the corp score 4 points, and then I just contest every single install since.
Yeah. After that, yeah, that's fair enough. So, but it's not a regenesis.
No.
So, but he will spin the 2 face-up bacterials, which is quite. And now the damn regenesis comes up. Subliminal comes back, of course, and he will subliminal purge. There we go. Yeah, this purge definitely. A purge needed to happen at some point, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because I'm very much threatening to just end the game with that conduit. So I think it was coming for sure.
So just credit, draw, install. All right. So there goes second spin. I suppose you will fire it now for the Fuji. Nice. Oh, but okay, not using it right now. Okay. Just continuing to chill. So drawing your last chip, and I suppose you just labor right now. There we go for labor rights fermented botulus. So the first labor rights is the last labor rights, I should say, is obvious. But so the last 2 cards fermented botulus, it was still a consideration to just manually shuffle back the revolver, just so you have another use of it, another clip, shall we say?
Yeah, I wanted to be able to I wanted to be able to throw in a revolver with similar chip instead of potentially. Because if I like labor rights in the revolver, I get an extra use, but I might not draw it. So then, like potentially have to draw 2 more times before putting it down, and yeah, so leave it in there. I
Sure.
think.
Okay. So we just install chip and run archives. So definitely needs to use the spin here, and I suppose this is the critical turn. I mean, basically the entire game has led up to this point.
Right. Yes. Because now I remember. I put those cards in because I figured what was going to happen was that I would get punitive.
Okay.
So I just need 2 cards in the stack, so that I can draw them off punitive and off steel skin, sorry, and then I can survive being hit by punitive twice.
Yes, correct. So there goes the bacterial and the talk doing lots of math. math into easy. There we go, just draw 7. It's that simple. So looks like he drew Punitive, Anansi, Hansei, YDL, Kaku, Snare, and Enervating Void. So looks like he didn't see the 3rd Regenesis, which I think would have been the kill. Which is...
Yeah, definitely. I think putting down that 4th point would have killed me. It's not something I actually considered in the game.
But I think it was like just under a 50% chance to hit the 3rd Regenesis. And I do find that a lot of the game versus RH boils down to like probability in terms of like what are the odds that like a bacterial fire will see like another agenda somewhere, and sometimes it can't be any agenda, and sometimes it has to be a Regenesis, sometimes it has to be a Fuji, that kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. I've played quite a few RH games where I do steal the bacterial, but then they just don't see the 2nd agenda anyway, so it doesn't go anywhere. Yeah.
It plays a lot into the probability of that. And yes, so okay, we click on punitive. That's definitely not correct. We click on YDL. No. Oh no. So Turtok. Okay. So Turtok. Okay. So basically, we are not punitiving. We're not playing into punitive at all because the idea is Turtok also knows. Turtok also knows that he has to punitive you 3 times because he knows that you have a steel skin in hand after counting.
Yeah.
Although I suppose there is a consideration to say, what if I just punitive you 2 times, leave you with no cards left in hand anywhere, and now you only have these 2 summer chips to play the rest of the game with. Maybe that's okay also.
Yeah. It's definitely like a good thing in this position, right? You want to just hit out that labor rights and so much of. And I believe that's what ends up happening. It's just a double unit. But yeah, it's helpful. But from my side, it's like I haven't lost, and it allows me to throw an agenda steal. I can still steal Fuji or the bacterial.
Yes, that's correct. So discarding 5 cards from hand. That's a bacterial, alright. So, and you conduit. Vampy is the rest. So you chip Bustle comes in. Chip Revolver. Yeah, so at this point, like this is like the last bit of gas left in the tank, correct? As it were.
Yeah, pretty much, because using the revolver here means that I won't have revolver counters to go for HQ. Because I considered trying to go for HQ to get more get more simul chips back, but it burns through an entire revolver just to get one simul chip, which I want to use on revolver again. So it's not
Right.
super helpful to me.
Yeah,
Just
it
underweighting
defeats the
R&D, you know?
yeah, it defeats the purpose. And it is a little bit funny that on this board state, you Turtok can still win the game by putting down Regenesis, like just installing and slow advancing Regenesis, just because like you can still die off a Punity for one, which is quite funny.
Yes, that's true. But I think if you install a punitive, like if you install in the remote, I just run archives. I don't think I ever steal the Regenesis. I just
Yes,
keep running
that's correct.
archives so you never have the 4-point Regenesis.
Correct. So yeah, you would have to do like some real silly things like get a like install Regenesis for no value, or sorry, score a 1 point Regenesis. Like who does that, you know?
Yeah. Maybe you install the Regenesis and then you put the second Regenesis into archives. So I
Yeah, that
run
will work.
archives in Regenesis and then die.
Yeah. All right. So there goes revolver. Pick ability window. So. All right. So, Turtok world spin draw. This is not majorly important, but so what are the agendas left? So there's 4 points. How many 5-3s are up? One. Only one 5-3 has been seen so far, of course. So there are 5 more in the deck, so somewhere. One is in archives, one is in hand. That means two. That means R&D has 2 5-3s in it, and it looks like we are spinning. All right.
Yeah,
So
spin
there's
into non-agendas.
so there's 3 in
Odds
8
match,
now. 3 in 8 agendas on this axis, and you get the bacteria anyway.
And yeah.
Sick rips.
Yeah. Very, very professional.
No Netrunner game is complete without a little bit of sick rips. And
That's how the game goes.
it is how the game goes. Alright. Oh, that was so so this game lasted 34 minutes, and I assume that meant the half of the game that we just saw that we saw on stream that day was the other 30 minutes or so.
Yes, I believe you saw the end of when I was playing Grudge against.
Yes. Yeah, and then what happened, like I mean I think he found like a Seedworks project at some point, and then yeah, you couldn't really close out the kill before time was called, or something to that effect.
Yeah. I believe he had 2 class acts in hand, so then on the last 2 turns just install a class act and install a class act again, and yeah, there's no real way to kill you.
Yeah, that makes a lot
very
of sense.
good play.
All right, that's that is the replay. So, did you want to do the other one?
I might have to head off now. Sorry.
Oh, okay, yeah, no issues. I think we've got a great deal of content already. Yeah, so I guess this is the point where I say thanks for sticking around and hanging around, and of course congratulations for once again for winning the Sunset AMT.
It was great.
Yeah, and I mean I can only imagine this. We will see this, like, you know, success. You know, how should I say, we hope to see this success translated into success in other formats as well. Like, I mean, there is a standard AMT going on in a few weeks' time, I think. We can just check that right here on the signal. The AMT March AMTs. So there is a another Sunset AMT next Saturday, but that's a pretty spooky time zone for both of us, I think. Looks like 3 a.m. start for you, which I don't
Yeah,
imagine.
it's quite brutal. I'm not sure if I'm gonna go to that one.
Well, as in if you if you win this AMT as well, you can legitimately say that you'll be the only Sunset AMT winner in the history of Netrunner, because I don't expect there to be more than
That's
these two.
true.
So there is some
That's true.
incentive,
That's true. Maybe I should do it.
Yeah, it is a title you need to defend, right?
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah, and then of
Yeah.
course the APEC AMT will be in the standard format, and that's like in about a month's time, 4 weeks. So that's a bit further out, and I mean hopefully that'll be closer to the Rebellion Without Rehearsal release. So we'll see like if the new cards are available since that well by then. And if so, I think there'll be a
Yeah.
very exciting like meta to play in.
Yeah, it'll be very exciting.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that should be about it for me.
Yeah.
And
But yeah,
yeah,
thanks for having me on.
yeah,
It
yeah,
was really
it
fun.
is yeah, it's
Kind
an
of
amazing
amazing that
pleasure.
I even got to this point, you know?
Every
So,
everyone
yeah,
everyone's got to
thank
start from
you.
somewhere, and I think if it motivates anyone like who's just like starting playing the game, to hear like I mean to hear like someone like your story, and anyone can win an EMT, anyone can win the event. I think that's a very motivational thing as well,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, and I guess before I finally let you go, do you have any particular shout outs?
Oh, definitely. Definitely just all the microbrews. They're all it's just so great the entire time, especially after uh my unfortunate game loss in the middle. That was yeah.
I mean,
Like I was quite ready to just leave the tournament after that, but
oh no.
they got me. Yeah, they got me back on track, and yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Always good
It
to
was
have a fan
amazing.
club, right?
Hmm. Definitely. Couldn't have done
Right.
it without them for sure.
All right. Yeah. So that's great, and I guess I will let you go now. Thanks for staying on for this almost 1.5 hours, and enjoy the rest
Yeah.
of your day.
You too. Yeah. Thank you
All
so
right.
much for having me.
All
See ya.
right. Peace out.
Bye.
Bye bye. Okay, yeah, that was it. Interview and game replay with Dragons1rule, the uh, Sunset AMT winner. And of course, I do hope that we can see more of him in the weeks and months to come, especially with the next Sunset AMT next weekend. And well, we may or may not see him return to defend his title, as it were. As he said, I should say. But I think either way, it's already a heck of an accomplishment, and uh, I definitely look forward to seeing like what we can do, or what he can do in the future, going into RWR, going into like more standard events. Yeah, and I think that should be about it from my end as well. Thanks all for watching and tuning in. Of course, I will be uploading this VOD onto YouTube post haste. And yeah, stay hydrated, everyone. As I say, as I take another swig, stay hydrated and always be running.